Hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to Born to React. Let's get it.
Mr. Trump, we need your help now!
These desperate pleas from Iranian protesters were recorded last month during the regime's bloodiest assault on its own people. President Trump promised protesters help, but never came. I just got some of these videos from an Iranian activist. They're only surfacing now because the regime shut down the internet. They give us a glimpse into how terrified and how desperate protesters were.
Don't let them kill us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Born to React. Sorry I've been away for, I believe it was like a little over 2 weeks. I started school, so been having to try to maintain and figure out how I can do both at the same time. So I think I figured it out. So we're uploading a video today. So today I wanted to get in to the U.S. and Iran conflict. I know I posted a video about it in the past, but I've been seeing a lot of people and some people on the right that are, for some reason, unaware of why we started this war, or they're just trying to blame everything on Israel. I wanted to go over this video and highlight reasons why I think that President Trump decided to go along with these strikes against Iran, along with Israel. And for some reason, people have failed to realize that the Iranian people asked for this. There is a media blackout or internet blackout, whatever. Iran shuts off their internet. So a lot of people don't know how the people in that country really feel. You really you got to take the pulse of the people outside of the country, the people that fled, the refugees. That's who you should be listening to. But it seems like there's a lot of, especially right wing commentators that don't understand why we're going or why we're in this situation. And Trump had enough. He went scorched earth on them, and we're gonna go through that, and then I'm gonna show you progressions on why I think that we took that first strike after initially bombing their uranium deposits in June of last year. So let's get to this clip by the Hill, and we'll go from there.
President Trump stirring the pot among conservatives by posting a fiery rant against four prominent right-wing commentators on Thursday afternoon. Trump held nothing back, not that he ever really does, when he called out Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones.
Those four had all voiced opposition to the war in Iran, which appears to be what set Trump off. His Long Truth Social post reads in part, quote, "They're stupid people. They know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity," end quote. Trump then went on to single each of them out. He brought up how Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News in 2023 and how Megyn Kelly accused him of making demeaning comments toward women when she was moderating a 2015 Republican debate.
He also called Candace Owens crazy for suggesting that the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, was born a man. Can't really argue with him there. And he blasted Alex Jones for his conspiracy theories about the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting being a hoax. Yeah, fair point. All four personalities, Trump says, are not MAGA anymore. He concluded the post with, quote, "MAGA is about making America great again, and these people have no idea how to do that, but I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world." President Donald J. Trump.
Carlson, Kelly, Owens, and Jones were all prominent supporters of Trump at one time or another, but more recently they began to criticize aspects of his administration, especially the war in Iran. As of Friday morning, two of the four have offered public responses to the post. Alex Jones wrote on X, quote, "I have made it very clear that I am no longer support Trump, and I'm very thankful to him for making it clear that I have nothing to do with him. The new Trump is a rotting husk of the old Trump. I hope 47 enjoys Mark Levin being his spirit animal," end quote.
And Candace Owens wrote, quote, "It may be time to put Grandpa up in a home."
So I wanted to go through a few other things um, when it comes to this war in Iran. And one straw that broke the camel's back that I think, in my opinion, had people um, jumping ship when it came to Trump and what he's doing in the Middle East is when Joe Kent um, resigned, and his reasoning for quitting and resigning sparked a lot of debate, but people, in my opinion, are not putting two and two together and realizing why we're really here. So let's get into this.
In this hour with breaking news, top counterterrorism official Joe Kent announced he is resigning as a director of the National Counterterrorism Center. In a post on X, Kent cited the war in Iran as his reason for leaving his role. He wrote, quote, "I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby." You may remember Kent ran as a Republican candidate for a House seat in Washington in 2024. He ran in support of President Trump's Make America Great Again campaign. In his post, he addressed the president, writing, "Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation."
So you heard that. He said they pose no imminent threat. Well, obviously he's not in the Situation Room, or he's not that close when it comes to foreign policy or foreign affairs, because he's director of national terrorists for this nation, national. And he didn't do that great of a job, especially with all the Teslas getting blown up and the the terrorist attacks that we had over the last year. But he's saying that they pose no imminent threat to the U.S., right? But they do. For some reason, this guy fails to realize, or even fails to admit now to this day, after this war has been started, that Iran did pose a threat to the U.S. and to Europe, which is our main ally. They had ballistic missiles that could hit 400, or they lied to us. They lied to us. They said they had missiles that could only hit 2,000 kilometers, but they hit Diego Garcia, which was 4,000 kilometers. So they've been lying to us. So you can't say that they don't pose an imminent threat. What do you want? What do you want to wait for? They want to create a nuclear bomb, and they say death to America. And for some reason, people think that just Trump hit Iran because he was manipulated by Bibi Netanyahu. Are you that? Are you that stupid? Is your memory bank that fucking shallow? Because if you just do a quick shit, go on ChatGPT, go on Perplexly, go on any AI search engine, and type in, "Can you find me videos of Iranians asking Trump for help?" And you'll find them. Let's take a look.
Mr. Trump, we need your help now!
These desperate pleas from Iranian protesters were recorded last month during the regime's bloodiest assault on its own people. President Trump promised protesters help, but never came. I just got some of these videos from an Iranian activist. They're only surfacing now because the regime shut down the internet. They give us a glimpse into how terrified and how desperate protesters were.
Don't let them kill us.
They were really hoping that President Trump would come to the rescue. And that's because the president did insert himself into the protests. Take a look at some of his posts. He encouraged people to go out and protest, and he threatened to strike the regime if it killed protesters. Some Iranians told me that gave a lot of people a false sense of security and hope. They believed that the world's most powerful man was going to protect them. But thousands were killed in the regime's crackdown. We've also seen the U.S. military build up in the region and talk of possible strikes. And now the U.S. has restarted talks with the Iranian regime, negotiations that have mostly focused on the nuclear program, on ballistic missiles, on proxy forces. Many Iranians we've been speaking with say that they feel abandoned, forgotten, and betrayed. But they say it's not too late. There are tens of thousands who are behind bars in Iran, many who've been disappeared by the regime, who are at risk of torture and execution. And those we've been speaking with say they believe only President Trump can help them.
You've seen that. You heard the people pleading for President Trump's help. And then they felt abandoned because it didn't come. At some point, we had to do something. Because if he didn't do shit, he wouldn't be. They would have been like, "Well, I thought he was the peace president, and he allowed all these thousands of Iranians to die." I understand people don't think it's our responsibility to, fight for the freedom of the Iranian people, but in some way it is because our country is where they flee to. Our country is where the world flees to. So why wouldn't Trump make an effort to have their country become prosperous again so they don't have to flee here? All the conservatives talking shit about mass immigration or immigration at all, you would be inclined to appreciate what President Trump is doing because it's really not for you. That's what you guys got to understand, especially these older folks. They don't understand that what President Trump is doing is not for them. It's for your children, if you have any, and your grandchildren. He is putting in place a plan so our children are still not fighting for opportunities, jobs, homes, careers when it with foreigners that are fleeing to this country for asylum or refuge. Because all of those people that came through during the Biden administration, what were they saying? They came here for refuge, for safety. And that's not what we should be allowing people to come in here for. And I understand, yes, if your country's going through some stuff, countries should help, make sure that women and children are safe. But if you noticed during those 4 years, a lot of military age men were coming into this country, claiming that they were scared of their life. Go fight for your country then. Trump is doing what he's doing around the world so people can't use their government or an oppressive regime as an excuse to run to this country and flood this country with illegals or even legal immigrants that are now trying to change our political landscape in this country, but don't have the damn balls to do it in their country. That's why we are there. We have to at some point, and here's the thing: strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, right? Got to understand. If these people were to get a nuke, what would happen? What the fuck would happen if these people were to get a nuke? But anyway, besides the point, let's get into with this guy. I forgot what is this dude? What was this dude? He's an Iranian official. Um, I wanted to get into a few things that he had to say, and his lies will explain to you why we are there. But let's get into it.
All right. Well, President Trump says he should pick the new leader of Iran. Will Iran allow President Trump to have any role in picking its new leader?
We allow nobody to interfere in our domestic affairs. This is up to the Iranian people to elect their new leader. They have already elected the Assembly of Experts, and the Assembly of Experts would do the job. It is only the business of the Iranian people and nobody else's business.
President Trump
Seems like the Iranian people want Reza Pahlavi. That's the face I keep seeing everywhere.
says there will be no deal with Iran except for, quote, unconditional surrender. Will Iran agree to unconditional surrender for the sake of bringing this war to an end, Mr. Foreign Minister?
Well, this is what he asked previous time, last year in June, that when Israel started to attack us, President Trump used the same phrase, unconditional surrender. That was the tweet he made. And that didn't happen. We resisted, and after 12 days, Israelis asked for unconditional ceasefire. So we never give up, we never surrender, and we continue to resist as long as it takes. We continue to defend ourselves, and we are defending our territory, our people, and our dignity. And our dignity is not for sale.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You took American money from Obama. What are you talking about? You want us to unfreeze your sanctions, your money. You know what I'm saying? You want to take tolls from the Strait of Hormuz. Your dignity is for sale. What are you talking about? Your dignity is for sale. You will stop this shit as long as we give you money. And we're not. I hope we don't give you a goddamn thing.
Well, let me ask you, because what conditions would Iran accept to bring this war to an end?
Well, actually, we are not at that point yet. Obviously, this time is different from the previous time. Last time we accepted the ceasefire, but this time is quite different, and the reason is obvious. Last time they attacked us, they made aggression against us, they killed our people, they destroyed our places, and then asked for a ceasefire, and we accepted out of good faith, because we were only exercising the act of self-defense. And when the aggression was stopped, we stopped too. But it didn't bring about peace. And now this year they again started to attack us. And again they are killing our people. They are killing girls.
That's BS. They didn't surrender out of good faith or accept a ceasefire out of good faith. They accepted a ceasefire because they wanted to keep working on their missiles. What are we talking about? We obviously have somebody in your camp that is a mole. We obviously have intelligence, and we're getting information that you think we don't have. So we know that you're still working on a missile. Come on now. Are we? Are you? You think we're dumb? You think we're dumb? We know you're talking to Russia. We know China's talking to you. So you don't think that we know that you're still working on bombs that could possibly reach us, the homeland, which most likely isn't going to happen. But I know we know you're working on weapons that can reach around around the region and hit our bases and hit Europe. But these sons of bitches will lie and tell you they're not. Just watch this. 11:20.
Much as it takes.
Let me ask you, because you have said that this was a war of choice. President Trump said one of the reasons for launching this war was that Iran, quote, already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases and would soon have missiles capable of reaching America. Was Iran planning to directly attack the United States?
Well, this is not true. This is, in fact, misinformation.
I like how he used Trump's word. This is not misinformation. Shut the fuck up.
We have capability to produce missiles, but we have intentionally limited ourselves to below 2,000 kilometers of range because we don't want to be felt as a threat by anybody else in the world.
If you believe that, if you believe what this man just said, you're missing a chromosome. Something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. If you're that naive to believe that they don't want to be a threat in the world while screaming death to America and death to Israel, what are you talking about, bro? Your supreme leader who's sitting there in the frame, 6 feet under. Well, shit, he's probably not even 6 feet. He's probably under rubble. I'm not sure if y'all got his body yet. But anyway, what I'm saying is, you guys scream death to America, death to the West. What's the shit called? Rafada? Infada? What the shit is it called? Intifada? Yeah, y'all scream about that, jihad, all types of shit. But y'all don't want to be a threat to the world. Shut the hell up, bro. You have terrorist organizations all around the world. What are you speaking on? But we have millions of people in America who've watched this shit, and their conclusion is Trump's the bad guy. You guys have to be really stupid. Continue.
We have not started any plan to increase the range of our missiles more than what it is right now. So there is no evidence, there is no intelligence, nothing to indicate that Iran is going to long-range missiles let alone those missiles who can reach the United States soul. Sorry.
All right. And of course, U.S. officials say that negotiations.
And what's more annoying is this woman. She didn't ask the question correctly. Trump said you had missiles that could hit Europe and U.S. bases in that region. And then her dumbass going to ask the question, do you have missiles that can hit the American homeland? So that's why at the end of the interview, he mentioned this.
States soul. Sorry. Let alone going to long-range missiles, let alone those missiles who can reach the United States soul.
He mentioned U.S. soil because she mentioned U.S. soil. It was like giving him a piggyback. But that's not what Trump said. You can hit our allies, our closest allies, our NATO allies, and our bases in the region. And you don't think a regime like this is working on something like that? You're greatly mistaken. So let's look at this. Let's go to this story. You know what I'm saying? And let's see what Iran has manufactured. Oh, shit. Oops.
All right, we got Joey Jones at the touchstring to break
Let's go,
down
Joey
Iran's
Jones.
ballistic
Man,
missile
my hood.
capabilities. All right, Joey, walk us through the range of their missiles.
Yeah, so they've been building missiles for a while. Really what we're going to focus on today is what I call the K4, because I can't say the K word. It's very long and it's hard to say. But basically, the last missile that they told us about was in 2023, the K4, and we thought its range was about, I think it was right at 2,000 kilometers, so not very far. And they even went so far as to say that, listen, we're not trying to go very far because we don't want the world to feel threatened by us. So here's Iran, and you can start to see the miles, which kind of roughly translate, but right here is what I want you to focus on, 2,500 miles. That's this outer ring here, right inside of it, just about 2,000 miles. Right, this is Diego Garcia. That's double the distance that we thought they could fire. So this K4 missile being the furthest that we know about, we're going to go ahead and move to the next slide. This K4 missile being the furthest that we know about, just went twice as far, or we think this is the one they used. The big question here is we don't know what they used, and that's something we'll talk about in a second.
So Trump is not just firing at on Iran on a whim or because Bibi Netanyahu told him to. We have intelligence, bro. We have intelligence. They are building up weapons so that they can hit us. They're not going to say, hey, yeah, we build up our stockpile so we can hit you later on. No, they're not going to tell us that, you idiots. Of course, they're going to say, no, we don't want to be a threat. Of course, we don't want to be a threat. No, why do we want to be a threat? Until they can get their nuke. And then they say, F you. Now we are a threat. What are you going to do about it? Come on now. Come on, bro. Can't be this ignorant. It's not the Jews, bro. Stop trying to blame everything on the Jews, all right? Sometimes you got to put belt to ass. And unfortunately, this is the time to do it. Or do you want your kids to do it? Do you want your grandchildren to fight the same war that their fathers, their uncles had to fight? Do you? Do you really want them to have to deal with that? Do you want to have the same war stories or conflicts in the same region as your grandchildren? Do you? Because you got to understand, these people, they create children to be martyrs. And this is why in some instances people be like, oh, what about the girls, the children, the women? Well, you've seen them line the goddamn women up, women and children up at the oil tankers. So I don't really give a damn about their women and children because they have children so their children can become martyrs. They don't care about their children. What the fuck? But with that being said, Trump knows what the hell he's doing. Yeah, a lot of these people are jumping ship because, in my opinion, they're not looking forward to the future. And that's just what I'm looking at. They're looking too far in the immediate now instead of the consequences that can happen in the future if we don't act now. Preventative maintenance. I'm just saying. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about it. Like, comment, subscribe. And again, sorry for being away for so long, but I'm going to be cranking out these videos for you guys. So appreciate you guys. Peace.